Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, just let me know. I can see that you said the video has no sound. I'm so sorry about that. If you can hear me, just let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I would like to know if you can hear me so I can continue. Okay guys, I just trust that you guys can hear me now. So I was saying that we're talking about documents you must carry as a student pilot while going for a solo flight, and there are reasons why you must have to carry these documents while going for a solo flight. And the first thing, we're going to be talking about like 6 documents. The number 1 document that we are going to be talking about today is carrying the license, your license. It's very, very important to go with your license. If you can hear me, just let me know in the comment section. And I was giving you the reasons why you need to carry your license. You need to carry your license because you can be stopped at any time and asked to provide your license, and if you cannot provide it, it's going to be leading you into so much trouble. So the number 1 thing is that you must carry it. And that's not the only reason. If you asked for it, it's also if you get to the airport, like most of the time when we go for solo flight, especially cross-country flights, we land in like different aerodromes, and when you land in these different aerodromes, you pass through the ramp, you pass through the central, like a place where just anybody cannot just be found. And if peradventure something happens, they ask you like, okay, where's your license? Since you said you are here, you are there, and all that, you might not be able to provide it, and that would not be good. That would not be good. So I'm going to advise that wherever you're going out and anything, always make sure like you carry your license. It's very, very important. That's the number 1 document you should not joke with. Then, as you know, the license, like most of the time, the medical, not most of the time, like for us here, your medicals are kind of attached to your license. Like you see the dates that the medicals is going to be expiring, you see it on the license. So it's also an important thing that you know when your medicals are expiring, so that you don't carry an expired medicals claiming to have the license and yet your medicals are expired. It's going to lead to more, in fact, even more trouble, because if you peradventure have any incident or any issue, people are going to be saying that maybe you were not fit before going for that flight. So it's very important that even as you're carrying your license, make sure your medical is current. Make sure you have a very current medical so that you don't fall into trouble. That's number 1. Like I said, if you're here, just make sure you leave a comment so that I can know who I'm talking to in particular. And like you know, we always give shout outs at the end of the video. The number 2 document that you must carry while going for a solo flight is your school ID card. Your school ID card is very, very important. That's why it's called an ID card. It's called an identity card, something that they can use to identify you wherever you go. Like I know some instructors here that if you're not with your school ID card, in fact, that check ride or that solo flight will not be conducted. So or you will not even be able to go for it, because they want to make sure that they are seeing that you're with your medicals, you're with your medical is okay, your student pilot license is okay, and your ID card is with you. So the number 2, like I said, we're talking about 6 things today, and the number 2 thing I've mentioned is that you must be with your student ID card. The first one is your license and medicals. The second one now is your student ID card correction. It's very, very important that you're with your student ID card at every point in time, whether in the school, whether outside the school, whether in the school premises. Just make sure you're always with your student ID card. The number 3 thing we are going to be talking about is carrying your logbook. And I know some people that have flown and gone for cross-country flights. Halfway, they got to discover that they were not with their logbooks. This can happen to anybody, but proper planning will really help this kind of thing not happen to you. That's what I'm trying to say. Proper planning will make it not happen to you. So before you pack for your solo, make sure you have your logbook with you, because this is even what happens as it concerns having your logbook. Welcome, Edo Timothy. It's nice having you here. Yeah, studies has been very, very fine, and my day went super fine. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, like I was saying, we're talking about the logbook. If you're going for your PPL qualifiers or your CPL qualifiers, you need to be able to stamp your logbook in any of the airports that you land. So imagine going for a flight without your logbook. It's almost like a wasted flight, because you get to the airdrop you're supposed to sign, and you get to discover that, oh there's no logbook. So if you don't want to fall in that kind of trap, if you don't want to fall in that kind of situation, always make sure you carry your logbook. Set it aside, put it in your bag the way you're putting your license. In fact, for me, the specific place I try to put my license, I try to put my logbook and my medical stuff in the same place, so that if you're bringing any of them, you don't forget any of them. So I think that's something you should really consider. Then that's the number 3 part. The number 4 part of something I think you should consider as a student pilot, about the documents that you're going to be carrying, is about, let there be a stamp, let there be an authorization from most of the time your instructor or somebody that is guarding that course at that time. Like for NCAT, that we run courses in sectors. I've said it before, like that you can have SP30, SP31, SP32, SP33, SP34, like that. So imagine when you have courses like that, know who is in charge of the course and ask for the person's acknowledgement before you can go for a solo flight. You cannot just pick an aircraft and start firing for a solo flight without an authorization. And I know outside the school, the way they do it is that your instructor will be the one to like sign you out, or you'll be the one to like rent the aircraft for a cross country or a solo flight. So once all these things, if all these things and all these measures are not put in place or are not met, it will not be advisable for you to go for a solo flight. And don't forget, we are on the number 40. Welcome, guys. I can see more people are joining us. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know your name. I can see okay, for now it's just Edo Timothy that has commented on his name, and Obo Wisdom telling me the sound wasn't so okay at that time. So I hope you can hear me and hear me clearly. So just make sure you leave your name so that I know who I am talking to. So guys, you must make sure you go with a stamp or a signature from either your instructor or whoever is governing the course, or from the operations person, whoever is assigned to you. Make sure you get a stamp or an authorization from that person, because if you don't, you'll be seen to have committed a very big crime, and anything happens along the line, it's going to be said that you just took the laws into your hands and you just went on the solo flight without any authorization, and that's going to be really bad. I'm telling you, I've fallen into that trap before, and it's not really a good place you want to be. So I think you should just make sure you get authorization, whether you're the captain of the flight or you're just like assisting. In fact, if you're the co-pilot of the flight, make sure you ask your captain, please, have you gotten authorization for this flight? Let us not take a flight into our hands and fall into trouble. So I think that's something you should get into consideration. Then now the fifth thing that you should carry, the fifth thing you should carry is the aircraft logbook. Like for every aircraft, there is a logbook that they log the number of engine hours, the number of landings, who was the P1 of the last flight, the P2, who is the current P1, who pre-flighted the aircraft. All those informations are there, like when the aircraft was started, what happened, like if the aircraft was snagged the previous day, you're going to see it on that tech log. So it's called an aircraft technical logbook, So I think you should really consider that. It's not something I think you should consider. I think it's something that you should put at the back of your mind. If you're going to be flying an aircraft like that, make sure you carry along the logbook. Because carrying along the logbook is going to like really help, still save you stuff. All these things is because when measures begin to change, when things begin to happen, you'll be able to have what to say and say, no, I got the right authorization from this person. No, this is exactly what happened to me. No, that's what happened. So you know all those things. Then now, guys, the 16, it seems like 11 persons are having network issues today. Thanks so much for those that are still watching, those that are here. And the moment I'm done with this, we're going to be like, we're stopping so that we don't cover so much and people are not here to like join us in this live stream. So the next thing is a landing permit or a payment given to you by the school. Like, you know, sometimes, in fact, in LO, you get to discover that you cannot land in some certain aerodromes if you haven't paid. If, especially if you're a private owned maybe aircraft, or you're going to a private owned school, flight school, you don't just fly like we now in NCAT, because probably it's owned by the government. We fly to aerodromes without paying. Maybe they have their negotiation kind of with these aerodromes or airports or whatever, I don't really know. Or maybe it's because it's also like government, maybe that's why they are also not looking into it. I really can't tell. But I know that if you're running a private owned stuff and you are giving a teller maybe paid for landing, like paid to land in that aircraft, paid to land in that airport, it's always good you carry every document that has been given to you as concerns the payment, because you don't want to get to a certain aerodrome and they like hold you hostage because they said they have not paid, or they can't clear you to take off, they can't clear you to land because you have not paid. So guys, these are the 6 things that for now I think they are really compulsory that you carry in your aircrafts for every flight. It is very, very important that you carry them in your aircraft for every flight. If you do not take them, if you do not carry them, you might be putting yourself on an edge, you might be putting yourself into trouble directly and indirectly, and you might be causing yourself even more harm than good. Because if I don't know the exact, if during my preferred I wasn't sure of the exact amount that this tech log this aircraft was flown, that's by looking at the tech log, and unfortunately when I land the aircraft starts making noise, I'm supposed to be able to refer back and say, okay, this aircraft was released, or this problem is having the same problem it was having the last time. You know, these things are very, very important. And like, you know, aviation is all about safety. Aviation is all about keeping everything safe. You don't just want to start something that you can't finish, or just start something and put yourself in so much trouble. Welcome guys, I can see more people are joining us. Thank you so much for joining today's live stream. And like, you know, we are discussing documents that students pilots must carry, or student pilots should carry for a solo flight, and we've gone far. We've talked about 6 things already, so I think you should like replay the video and like follow us. So guys, that's it. I talked about license and medicals, I talked about having your school ID card, I talked about your logbook, I talked about your stamp and sign, make sure you get authorization, I talked about the aircraft log, and now lastly I'm talking about getting landing permits or landing payments from your operator. Getting landing permits or landing this thing from your operator is also very, very important. So guys, if you have any questions that you think we should answer before we even close this live stream, I would just be happy if you let me know so that we can touch them. So I'm just going to be giving a little time. Okay, Edo Timothy, why do some student pilots quit from aviation? Sincerely, this is actually a big topic, but I would like to touch it a little now before maybe we discuss it some other time. The reason why student pilots tend to quit are not so, there are not so many reasons. Most of the time these reasons are narrowed down either to money, that's not being financially capable to continue the whole process that they started, or it might be that not just that they are not financially capable to start or to finish what they started, but they might not be getting along well with their instructor, or they might not, like, I'm trying to think of, or maybe they're having illnesses, that constant illnesses that are making them discouraged, or maybe they are not given the opportunity to like fly as frequent as possible. These things have a way of discouraging you. These things have a way of making you rethink that is this actually the career that I chose? And sometimes it's not as rosy as we all think that. Okay, maybe when we think about it, we'll be able to go around it. No, it's not always like that. In fact, there are some times in the flying that you feel so down that you just need someone to talk to. You just need a help. You just need like someone to tell you everything will be fine. So we actually get to that stage in flying, and seriously, Edo Timothy, it's not easy. Flying is something that takes your mind physically, emotionally, financially, all the shalies. Just add all the shalies together. Sorry, gorgeous beauty. She says she's late because of the bad network. So sorry about that. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people too are facing this bad network where they are. So I think it's just like a general problem. So Edward Timothy, like I was answering your question, that's not just the only reason. Financially, and sometimes the flying might be giving them let's say emotional trauma, or because if you're not doing well and you keep failing consistently and your instructor is like, see, I don't think you can make it, obviously that person is going to feel so down. That person is going to feel like kind of like good for nothing, and the person might not really go far in the flying. So these are things that happen from time to time, and I think you should like consider it as a person. So I hope I answered that question. It's very, very important. Okay, Gorgeous Beauty is asking a question here. Fair Gorgeous Beauty, is it that without all these components you cannot go solo? The truth is that without these components you can actually go solo, but you might not be safe. Like when I listed every point, I gave you reasons why it's important that you go with these documents. It's not like, in fact, there are some of them that are a stamp. You must actually go with this. Like going with your license, it's a stamp. You can't afford to forget your license in your house and go to fly. In fact, you're not permitted to enter an aircraft without a license to fly. So if you don't have a license to fly, it's just like having a boarding pass. Nobody is practically allowed, except maybe one person or the other, or one thing. Nobody's actually allowed to enter an aircraft without the boarding pass, except your job sitting, except you're kind to observe the flight, except they are empty seats and they are going your direction. Oh, classic Derek, is really nice having you here tonight. It's been a while, like it's really been a while. Good evening, blessing. I'm so sorry I haven't been online since I really. No, it happens. I'm happy you're also here for today's live stream. Like, it's so nice. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, just leave them so that as the video goes on, I can be treating them one after the other. So guys, like I'm saying, not having this document might not stop you from flying. Don't also forget to give this video a thumbs up. It's important. Give this video a thumbs up. So like I was saying, not these things don't just happen like that. You need to be sure of what you're doing. If you don't have these documents, yes, if you're not caught, you might not be penalized, but if you're not caught, you might not be penalized, but it's always best that you have these documents so that you always fall on the safe side. See, personally, there are some risks I don't like to take. Not because, oh, maybe I'm scared, but what's the point? Like, who am I trying to prove a point to? I prefer to be safe than taking undue risk. I prefer to always be safe. Safety is everything. Safety is everything, guys. So it's always good to take all those documents on board, even if they might not like catch you, but you never can tell what might happen. Okay, so chicas, welcome to today's live stream. And I just want to thank you for your efforts. You empower us. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that you see all the things I'm doing. Like, it's thank you very much. As a student pilot, you are probably very busy with your training, but you still create time to share so much with us. It's very important that I do this because I feel that when you have a direction to where you're going, life becomes easy. When you have the right informations, you won't keep making the same mistakes that probably we have made. You won't keep making the same mistakes that we are or likely to make, or we likely made in the past. You see, there's something about information, like when you get an information, like your eyes are open and you just see, whoa, like seriously, so this is how this thing is. So I'm just trying to like break it down as much as possible to like minute terms that all of us can like understand. So I'm happy that you're here and you're understanding more about this flying of a thing. It's actually interesting, trust me. Flying is one of the most interesting and paying jobs that you can do as a career. There's no career that I've seen that actually outweighs this aviation, especially becoming a pilot, because it's super interesting. Not only that it's interesting, it is well, I don't really know the right word to use. Like you spend so much, like you invest so much and you get so much like in return. So these are things like you should consider. By the way, it's Friday and it's like really nice having you guys. Okay. Edward Timothy, how many students are there in aviation school? I mean, like the maximum or minimum students in aviation school that can. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish reading that. Oh, that can be admitted annually. Okay, Edward Timothy, the truth is that, you know, here in NCAT is a college. NCAT, that's Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, is a college, and so they don't just do flying, they do both flying, engineering, SFO, cabin crew, aviation management. They do a lot of courses. And so like you cannot actually tell how many students we have in general. So now let me talk about flying school. Flying school admits at least maybe 20 to like 25. That's the range of people they can admit. Then out of those 20 to 25, the people that can like pay, like they give admission to like 20 to 25 people, then people that can pay can come up. When they pay, the class is full, and that's all for the year till like the next time. Like I think the next exam is going to be coming up maybe at the end of this, at the end towards the end of the year, maybe around September, October, around that time. That's when these exams are going to be coming. And not only that, the exams come at the end of the year, they try to like do a lot of screening, like, you know, pass through a lot of aviation pass, so that they can get the best people. So I can't really say this at a certain amount, but I know they pick from the range of 20 to like 25. So I hope I treated that question. Feg Gorgeous Beauty saying, what are the most important things you know as pilots concerning an aircraft? Well, the thing about pilots knowing aircrafts, we just learn mainly about our engines, the general handling of the aircraft. We don't like go so in depth the way the engineers like have to go and know the exact property, this, but we learn to know our engines, because when the engine is dead, what will the pilot do? The pilot is the, I really don't know about that. Like without the engine, the pilot is practically doing nothing. The pilot has to kind of troubleshoot to fly that aircraft and a lot of things. So we pay very rapt attention in knowing about the engine of the aircraft. Apart from knowing every other thing like peripheral stuff, we also take so much time in learning about the engine, learning about the systems. How does the air conditioning system work? How does the cooling system work? How does the lubrication system work? How does the landing gear system work? How does the hydraulic system work? All these things, we pay so much time, guys, to knowing about it, because if these things fail, it will determine if the person is going to have a crash or the person is going to like land safely. So, you know, for instance, like if you're flying a twin engine aircraft and you have an engine failure, you have to, after doing the dead food dead engine part, you have to like verify, like cutting off the dead engine so that it doesn't create so much drag. But imagine if you're going to cut off the live engine, if you don't know much about engines, if you don't know much about what happens when an engine drops. We get to know so much. In fact, I can't really say this is the exact things we know about the aircraft, but we get to do serious study to know what this aircraft can do and what it cannot do. So I hope you're confident about the fact that we pilots, we are really learning. Gorgeous beauty, we are really learning, and the learning is part of big fun too. Oh, classic Derek, yeah, somehow, but I am like super agile to do this video for you guys. So, fair gorgeous beauty, can you talk about how to motivate yourself to change your behavior? Okay, I would like to touch a little about this, how to motivate yourself to change your behavior. We are humans, and the truth is that maybe there are some parts of our lives that we might not be comfortable with. There are some parts of our lives that we might not be so okay with, and we believe that we have the capacity to like change them through the help of God anyways. So what do you do to like help yourself to changing these things? I think the first thing is to give yourself rewards when you make one step forward, like changing a certain behavior. Give yourself rewards. If I tell myself, for instance, that okay, I've been sleeping throughout the night and I want to start reading and reading well, and I tell myself that I want to read like 2 chapters every day, or I want to read like 3 to 4 chapters every day, it's always be best if you attach a reward to it for yourself. Maybe you tell yourself that if I peradventure read, oh, I don't know what's really disturbing me, my eyes, sorry guys. So if I peradventure tell myself that I'm going to be reading for 2 hours or 3 hours a day, and I do it, I should give myself a reward. Maybe a reward of a long sleep, or a reward of eating something nice, or a reward of maybe going out, strolling, or jogging, or going to the gym, or whatever. Just make sure you like attach a reward to it. It can help you change your behavior. And another thing is, ask yourself, why did I start this certain thing? Why do I want to change? Do I want to change because of somebody? Do I want to change because I really want to change? Do I want to change because there's a need to change? You need to ask yourself this kind of questions. And if you do, guys, if you do, you are if you do, you're going to be putting yourself on a better edge, because now you know your problem. Nobody's trying to help you figure out your problem, and you know kind of how to like solve it. So I hope I like helped to answer that question tonight. I can see more people are still joining us. Welcome guys to today's live stream, but fortunately we are going to be ending this live stream now because the day is fast running. Okay, how much does an airline earn as a captain, as a first officer? The truth is that currently I cannot talk about pilot salaries, especially in Nigeria, because I am not yet there. So maybe when I get there, I can like talk from experience, telling you that okay, it's between the range of this. But another reason why I think that pilot salaries are they don't put it like public is for security purposes. It's for serious security purposes. Slim Pilot is here tonight. It's really nice to have you. Just make sure you give this video a thumbs up and ask your aviation questions. By the way, Slim Pilot, welcome to today's live stream. It's really nice like having you for the first time in today's live stream. So guys, as I was saying, I can't talk about the amounts that they are being paid, especially in Nigeria, and this is because I am not in their pocket. Don't mind me, that's just for the fun of it. It's not like it's not because I'm not in their pocket, but because I've not really asked to know exactly the amount they are being paid, as in acts like a friend in particular this, but I know they are being paid well. So it's not something you should break your head over. Get there, just get there, and you're going to like love it and love it so so much. Okay. uh how many times do you guys fly a month? The truth is that I can't really say how many times we fly a month, because there are a lot of things that influence our flying. E.g., sometimes when we have bad weather, you see that, like, okay, for the last 3 weeks before this week, we had like serious bad weather, and almost nobody flew. Okay, let me see, if there was a ratio of, we are supposed to do it like in percentage, like using like 100%, I'm going to tell you that just a fraction of like 10% people were able to fly, and the remaining 90% we are not able to fly. So when we have bad weather, people don't have the opportunity to like fly over and over again. But when you have like super good weathers, we fly, especially if instructors are available and aircrafts are available. So most of the time, the flying per month, we can't really like judge it by ourselves, because sometimes instructors are not like available. George, you are super super late, but thank you for coming for today's live stream. Is really nice having you here. Fair Gorgeous Beauty, please talk about how to be conscious of anything you do. How to be conscious of anything you do. Okay, this is going to be a little motivational talk. How to be conscious of anything you do. I think the best way to be conscious of anything you do is to put your mind to it. If I want to eat, and it's definitely going to be a conscious effort for me to be able to eat, I need to like set my mind towards eating. That is part of the ways I will be conscious of what I'm doing. If peradventure I want to read, like, we are all in student environments, and most of us, we are students, like not just any students, we are professional students, and we hope to be the best of the best of the best as we put our effort to what we are working towards. So if you want to, like, for instance, get A's in your courses, you are supposed to put a conscious effort to reading, a conscious effort to revising, a conscious effort to reading past questions, a conscious effort to asking your instructor questions, a conscious effort to finding out what is required of you. That's what I'm trying to say. Finding out what's required of you, not just sitting there and waiting that whatever happens will happen. You see, life will not give you what you just sit down and wait for it to happen. No, it doesn't happen like that. You need to like work towards it. You need to put that effort. You see, this thing we are saying, having a conscious effort, it's about being conscious about it. It's about like investing your time, investing your resources in it. That's what it's all about. So Fair Gorgeous Beauty is asking Fair Gorgeous Beauty is asking, do they also teach you guys how to study weather? Yes, we start learning how to study the weather in meteorology, and we are not, that the meteorology people are also professionals in their course, in the sense that they study meteorology, they concentrate their mind in studying meteorology, so they don't like do any other thing than study meteorology. So they just teach us like the basic part, how to know when the weather is kind of going to be good, how to know when the weather is bad, what to do, and all that. So we kind of know, because they teach us how to know that a little. So it's important that you also know that. Okay, Edo Timothy, do you people fly at the same time? Yes, if per adventure you have like 5 aircrafts on ground, 5 instructors on ground, definitely 5 aircrafts are going to be flying, and people operation is going to be on. So we don't just wait. If you have 5 aircrafts and the students are available, they fly, and when those ones fly, there's a swap and they fly again. So yes, we actually fly the same aircrafts, and we fly like batch by batch. That's what happens. We usually fly batch by batch waiting for. Yes, at the same time, depending on the number of aircraft. So I hope I answered that question and answered it well. George E, have there been an incident where a student pilot dozed off during flight? Is it possible to be a coincidence? I actually don't like talking about that part because it's not professional. That's the truth. It's not professional, and if peradventure it has happened, which I know it has happened before, it's not a professional thing, and I'm not going to be saying okay, yes, and so that I really don't know, but I feel I should not talk about that. But yes, it happens, and it happens. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, it happens, but it's always better when you have like a P1 and P2, so it balances itself, because even if this other person is sleeping, this other person can take charge of the flight and do it very, very well. Wow, I can see you guys are set for tonight. A lot of questions are really coming in, and it's pretty time. And okay, and how to make use of your time in flight school. Okay, I think some of these things will have to like move them over. Okay, someone is speaking French here. I really don't understand French, so please, you can interpret in English for us. Some of these things, I think we'll leave them. Welcome, Chukwemeka, Chukuma, correction. Welcome, Chukuma, to today's live stream. It's really nice having you here. Thank you so much for coming. I think we'll talk about how to manage our time in flight school probably in the next video. I'm going to be writing it down somewhere so that I do not forget about it, because time has gone. Time is quite fast spent. How many exams, how many exam days are candidates supposed to spend in Zaria? Okay, how many exam dates are candidates supposed to spend in Zaria? How many exam days? Blessing. An average of 1 week. Let's use 1 week, because most of the time, like I asked this last set, most of them do not finish their medicals on the same day. Most of them like had to do their medicals for 2 days. So if you write the first exam one day, you do write the second exam the next day, you do your medicals for maybe an average of like 2 days, and then you have you do your medicals for an average of 2 days, then you have interview for 1 day. Then I think, yeah, you might spend quite some time. And just book for 1 week in case of anything. Just, it's always good to like have your plans for 1 week. I'm so sorry, the person speaking French, I do not understand French. I will be so glad if you interpret French into English for me so that I can answer your question. But by the way, welcome to Princess Anu TV. Yomi Away, it's nice having you. This is the first time you're joining our live stream. The live stream is always by 10 p.m. It's always good to come early so that we can finish early, talk about our questions, and find our way to rest. By the way, happy weekend, because the weekend has started, guys. Do you people fly to other countries or only around Nigeria? For now, here in flight school, we don't fly to any other country except states in Nigeria. And most of the states we fly to actually are the boundaries of all these other countries abroad, but we don't go outside Nigeria. We only fly within Nigeria. So I'm just happy you're asking that question, because nobody has ever asked that question. Does NCAT have any plan for rotor wing training? Yes, we actually have. NCAT actually has an helicopter, but they've not started the training, but I think they are going to be starting it soon. Guys, I'm really seeing that a lot of you are joining us. Give this video a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up, and if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It's nice having you guys here. Hello. Okay, fair gorgeous beauty, what do we say about pilots without engineers? Definitely, pilots without engineers is not possible, because the engineers always try to make the aircraft serviceable for pilots to be able to fly. So if you have pilots ready to fly an aircraft and the aircraft is not serviceable, definitely that pilot will not be able to fly. So thank you for saying that. We don't Pilots can really not do their work efficiently and do it well without having the engineers. So if you're an engineer out there, we're giving you a kudos. Well done. In fact, I think we need to give you like a clap. Especially for those investing so much time to do their work. Like, it's really nice, like, having you in today's live stream. Well done, well done, well done, and thanks so much for the questions. I'm just going to be doing a quick shout out to everyone that has joined in today's live stream. Yomi Away, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you more. 10 p.m. every day. 10 p.m. every day. I really don't know this person, but hello, welcome. Thanks so much for joining. Fair Gorgeous Beauty, thanks for joining. Like I said, I'm going to be treating your other question in the next video. And George, thank you so much for being here. I'm sure I answered most of your questions tonight. Hello Timothy, thank you for being here and all the questions you asked. Classic Derek, thanks for being here. Ezubikwe Chukuma, thanks for being here. Slim Pilot, my wonderful cosmate, well, thanks for being here. And I really appreciate you guys. Like, it's really, really nice having you guys here. Okay, I've called George before, and Sam. Okay, so Chukwe, thanks for being here. So Chukwe, Edo Timothy, thanks for being here, guys. I really, really appreciate you. It's really nice, like, spending this time with you, and I would love to see you in tomorrow's live stream so that we can talk better and have so much time to, like, talk with ourselves. Don't forget, keep being your best. Keep being your best. You can do better than even what you're doing now. All you have to do is to concentrate your effort in doing this, and do not give up. You can do it. You can do it. Trust me, you can do it, and even much more. So till we meet next time, even on this same channel, keep watching Princess Anu TV, guys. Bye. Thanks so much for joining today's live stream. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. Thanks, guys.